Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I am Maui Paul, and today we are going to be saying some nice things about ourselves. We're going to be working through my I am deck. Now, this deck is getting pretty skinny. I am almost done with it, and I'm pretty excited for what comes next. But this deck contains all kinds of positive affirmations that we can say about ourselves in the form of I am statements. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go through one of the cards today. I'm going to pick a card up off the top of the deck. We're going to read through the I am statement together, and I'm going to ask you if you are the statement that we're going through. You're going to respond that I am. You're going to respond out loud so that you can hear it. They say that faith comes by hearing. What we believe comes from what we hear. And so when we hear ourselves say things, we are more inclined to believe them. And that's just so vitally important when it comes to the positive affirmations that we say about ourselves. So you'll be saying, or we will be saying, I am the statement on the card. And then I will affirm to you that we are the statement on the card. So let's just begin by pulling one up off of the top of the deck. And let's just say that today I am intentional. Today I am intentional. I move forward calmly and with purpose. So I am intentional. I move forward calmly and with purpose. So are you intentional? You are intentional. You move forward calmly and with purpose. So I've just written that down in the chat. I've written I am intentional in the chat. I'd like to see you write I am intentional down in the chat too. Let me know that you are intentional today. Be intentional about writing these things in the chat. Be intentional about saying them out loud. Do it for a reason. So often we do things in life because we're reacting to something. Something happens, and so we said, oh, here something has changed. We need to behave differently, and then we react to it. And being intentional is really just about being one step ahead, doing things because we have the end in mind, beginning with the end in mind, as it were. And I think intentionality is a really overlooked part of life. We do things intentionally when we're children. We usually have a reason for whatever we do, and usually it has something to do with some larger plan or goal that we're working on achieving. But then we get to be adults, and all of a sudden we have responsibilities, and we have other people who are also, have a bit of claim on our time, either because they're paying us, or because we have responsibilities to them, or because they came out of our bodies. There's all kinds of reasons why some other person would have some claim on our time or attention. And when that happens, oftentimes we stop being intentional, we start being reactive. And a reactive life is never a particularly fulfilled life because we're always reacting, we're always doing something because somebody else wants us to do it and not because we want to do it ourselves. And so being intentional is just so vitally important. And it's the difference between letting other people drive the course of our lives or driving the course of our lives ourselves. So I am intentional today. And I've written I am intentional down in the comments. And for those of you who follow this morning broadcast, you know that I will go through all of the comments and I will affirm everybody. If you say you're intentional, I will affirm that for you and just remind you that you are. And this is a touchstone for your day. And I noticed that my comment usually doesn't go. Nobody responds to mine because I'm the guy doing it. So I would love it if you would respond to my comment. Let me know that I am intentional too. And I would love to know a way that you plan on being intentional today. How is it that you are going to move forward in an intentional way? Or what was a situation in the recent past where you made an intentional choice, where you made an intentional decision? The word decision is another really interesting one. It comes from the Latin root decidere, which means to kill off all other possibilities. And I think that's a fascinating root of the word. When we decide, we kill off all other possibilities. We say, this is going to happen. This must happen. There is no reality in which this does not happen. And so when we are intentional about deciding things, it really helps us to move in the direction that is most joyful for us. So I am intentional today, and you are intentional too. And I'd love to hear about how you're intentional, how you've been intentional in the past, and how you intend to be intentional today. I was very intentional about doing this broadcast. This broadcast exists because it helps me to get out of bed in the morning. In fact, at the beginning, I could just barely get out of bed, and Now I'm getting out of bed about 7:30 in the morning, and so my end goal was achieved because I have habituated going to bed earlier and getting out of bed earlier, which is good for me, by adding some anchor points in my life. And so I was very intentional about doing this broadcast right here that you're listening to. So let me know how you're intentional. I will talk to you a little bit later on. We are getting close to the end of this deck, and I am very excited for what happens next. If you need a particular affirmation and you'd like these things to be all organized for you, I have a YouTube channel that's linked, and all of these affirmations are just in a playlist. So you can just start at the top and go on down if you want to listen to them all, or select the one that really resonates with you today. That's all I have. So aloha from paradise.